Hi, Blake Matthews here from Florida Orienteering with another video, this time about how to enjoy our permanent and semi-permanent courses, the self-service orienteering courses that we set up around the state via a smartphone application called MapRun. I'm going to show you how to use it. So we have a couple of different kinds of self-service orienteering courses set up in permanent and semi-permanent fashion in various parks around the state, and they're offered for practice and for self-paced enjoyment and training and so forth. I do need to add the fine print lawyer speak here. When you come to an orienteering event that's live, when we're there administering it and timing and so forth, there's a certain margin of safety there because we're there watching out for you, and we're offering, for example, GPS tracking, where we're watching you and keeping tabs on your location as you do your course. And of course, you're there with dozens or perhaps even hundreds of fellow orienteers who are all spread out in the woods with you. And so you're never far away from somebody who might help you if you were to need it. And when you do a self-service course, you're typically out there by yourself. And so those safeguards are no longer in place. And so you must take sole responsibility for your own safety when you're doing these courses. There are two kinds of courses that are out there. There are what we call permanent courses, which have permanent physical markers in the form of a pressure-treated 4x4 post, like the one you see here, or a fiberglass forestry stake, either one of which has a little laminated punch tag on it like this. It has a QR code here and also an embedded NFC chip for tap punching here. Both of those kinds of punching are done through your smartphone using that MapRun app I mentioned. The second kind of course, the semi-permanent kind, has no physical markers in the woods, and they're timed by proximity punching. So there's nothing for you to find out in the woods, no flag, no marker. You simply have to get to the right place according to your smartphone's GPS. And it just punches you in when you get within so many meters of the correct place. And this is a little video of that system in action. The control site in this case is this little ruined hog trap that's in the woods. And if you watch, you'll see how it works. Here I am walking up to it. And there you hear the phone punching me in when I get within a few meters of that site. And that's how it works. It's just based on getting close enough to the mark, and you can see from the video how close. These are some of the sites where we have self-service courses set up in the state of Florida. There's also a couple down here in the Miami area now. These are parks where there may be multiple courses in any of these parks, but these are some of the sites we have. Maps for them that you're going to use, like the orienteering maps of the courses, are under downloadable PDFs on links on our website, and I'll show you that shortly. The permanent course page has the links for the permanent courses. These are your beginner and intermediate maps at various sites. You click on those, you'll get a download of the PDF of that map. And then on the semi-permanent course page, you see there are many more parks and many more maps available. These are basically maps of courses that we offered at live events at this park in the fairly recent past. In total, there are over 100 courses out there. 9 of them are permanent at 4 different parks, and all the rest are these semi-permanent with no physical markers. Obviously, there's a lot more of the latter variety, and that, of course, is because they're cheaper and easier to set up because there's no markers to sink in the ground. And they are also great because they're maintenance-free, because those courses are impervious to weathering and vandalism and prescribed burns and major weather events. So they're just so much easier to maintain. Both of these kinds of courses are administered and timed by a smartphone app called MapRun. This is the icon for it. It's this kind of green rounded square with a big M on it. You'll find it on the App Store and the Google Play Store. When you install it on your smartphone and open the app, this is the main screen that you'll see here. And the first thing that you'll want to do in order to use it is click this user profile button right here, which will bring up this screen for you to fill in your details, name, gender, contact information, that kind of thing, home club. All of this is so that it knows who to register results under when you use the app to do a course. It keeps track not only of your timing, but it also keeps track of results that you and other folks who have done these courses post online. Once you have done that, the app is ready to use. It'll have your name right here under the user profile because you filled in that profile. After that, when you're ready to actually use it to do one of our courses, you'll press this Select Event button right here, and that will take you to the selection screen. What's not immediately obvious here is that there are 4 tabs at the top of it, and you want to typically use the Folder tab, the one that's third in line right here, which will take you to the top level of the event selection, and which of course is country. And you can see this map is used all over the world. There are courses in various countries, and you'll just drill down through the folder system. So initially you'll start with country USA, state Florida, whatever region you're in, and then you'll get to the list of parks that have self-service courses in them. And when you click on one, you'll get the list of the actual courses themselves that are available, and you'll pick one. Once typically you want to do that at a point where you are sure you've got cell phone signal. In Florida, that's not such a big deal because there's decent signal, at least enough signal at most parks to do it. But just to be on the safe side, sometimes it's a good idea to do that course selection part from the last slide when you have Wi-Fi, right? So that you know absolutely you'll be able to get through and pick up the courses that you want to do. Once you have that done, you can drive to the venue with all of your gear. And when you are geared up and ready to go, you got your whistle, you got your water, you got your map, you got your compass, you got your charged smartphone, and you're ready to actually orienteer, then you're going to come down here to this button, Go to Start. That will then show the orienteering map on the screen of the phone, and it will put a little red dot right here at your present location, and you'll be able to see the start marker that's typically labeled S1 for start, and your location relative to it. And this will help you get to the proper location to begin the course, and then you can punch the start and actually begin your course. Now for permanent courses, the start and finish will have a marker because permanent courses have markers. Typically the marker will look something like this. It'll have instructions on one page and then the start and finish punch tags for starting and finishing any of the courses at that location. Sometimes there are other ways in which we do it. Here's one from Moss Park where there's this big kiosk and they've got this little under glass area right here where we put our instructions and QR tags inside it right there. Now, of course, with a semi-permanent course situation where there are no markers, just like there are no control flags and no control markers out in the woods, there are no markers for the start and finish either. Everything is proximity punch. The key thing there is to be aware of that fact because once you press Go to Start, if you happen to be near the start, it will punch you in right then and your clock will start running. So don't press Go to Start in a semi-permanent course situation where you're using proximity punch until you're really ready to walk off into the woods and go. Then you'll navigate around the course using the map and compass just like you always do, punching the controls in numerical order. As you punch, you'll see on your phone screen the control sites, which initially are in this administrative purple color right here, will turn green. Every time you punch, here's the start that's been punched, and then different controls that have been punched, they've turned green over time as you move through the course. You'll also see that the app keeps track of your total time right here. These seconds will be counting up as you move around. It'll tell you how many controls are on the course and how many you punched and what the last control you punched was. When you're done with all of that, you're going to return to the finish and punch that finish tag, or again, in a semi-permanent situation, get close enough to the tag, close enough to the location to punch out of the course. That will stop your clock and show you your total recorded time on the course. Whether you punched the entire course in order, it'll be result okay in that scenario where you completed the course. with all controls in order. And then it'll actually overlay on the map you used the route that you took. That's this red squiggly line right here is the actual GPS track that you recorded, that the phone recorded for you while you were doing the course. Now, I mentioned that all of this is on the Flow website. So here we are on the main Flow page. This is where we keep our list of live events that it's going to happen during the current year. And then right up here above that list of live events, this is where you find the permanent and semi-permanent courses. If I click on the permanent course page here, you'll see these are the ones with the permanent markers. Here's the links that I mentioned before. You have your beginner and intermediate maps here, and there's instructions. Now, permanent courses are kind of a community service project, if you will, for Florida Orienteering. The intent is to try and get people involved in the sport. We don't charge anything for this. The use of permanent courses is free. Now, the semi-permanent courses, we do treat more like a regular live event. So there are instructions for payment for using the semi-permanent courses, and of course, because we're not there, we have to use some kind of remote payment method, and we use Zelle for that. So you'll open up the Zelle app and basically send payment to treasurer@floridaorienteering.org, or you can use this QR code inside the Zelle application to do the same thing. And we ask that you send a few bucks our way to cover the costs that we incur in making and maintaining maps of the park and keeping the courses up and so forth. Right now, all of this is on honor system. Please help us keep it that way. We really don't want to put all of this stuff behind a paywall, so as long as we keep getting enough income on that, we get charged a little bit by MapRun every time someone uses the course. You do not get charged with MapRun. The use of MapRun is free for the end user, but we as the people who set up the courses, we get a small charge from MapRun each time someone uses it. So we hope to get some income from that, the use of the courses, to defray that. And now that you've seen how all this works on the computer, we'll go to our field correspondent to show you the field demo, how it works when you're in the woods. Okay, so now we're at the park. I have my paper map that I picked up from the ranger station. I have my phone open with MapRun on. I have my course downloaded. I'm ready to begin the course. So I'm going to, on my phone screen, press the Go to Start button. What that will do is put my location on the map as a red dot. This will help guide me to the start if I don't know where it is. In this case, I do know where it is. It's on the back side of this kiosk right here behind me, so I'm going to walk back there. This is the start. Here we have instructions, which we've already gone through in the video, and the start and the finish QR codes to start and begin, start and end the course. At this point on my phone screen, I have a scan for NFC or scan for QR code button that I can use to scan the start and begin my course. And because this is under glass, I may not be able to get close enough to use the NFC tag, so I'm going to scan for QR. On my phone screen, it shows the window. All I have to do is get over that QR code, put it in the window, and it'll scan it for me. Now I see on my phone screen that my clock is running, and I'm off to my first control. Okay, so here I am at my first control. I found the marker with the QR and NFC tags on it. I am ready to scan. I can use either the scan for QR code or NFC. The NFC tag, if you want to use, it's good, but you have to put your phone right on top of the tag in order for it to work. So I'm going to reach in here and do exactly that. All right, I'm putting my phone right on top of the QR tag, right on top of the NFC tag, the little circle on the control. At any control, you can use either NFC or QR. So I can rescan this with QR code. Now you'll be able to see it. It's actually right in here. And if I get in close, it will scan that. It didn't beep this time because I already scanned it with NFC. Okay, so here I am at another control. You can see the stake in the palmetto bush behind me. I'm about to scan it. Every time I scan a control, I have two options. I can use the NFC tag or the QR code tag simply by pressing the appropriate button at the bottom of my phone screen. In this case, I'm going to use the scan for NFC. So I've just pressed that button. To scan for NFC, you just walk up to the control. You'll see that there is a NFC circle right there on the tag, and I have to place the center of my phone directly over that circle like this. All right, see, it'll punch like that. Alternately, I can press the scan for QR, and a little square will appear on my phone screen. I simply show that code to the phone and it will scan. It didn't do anything on my phone that time because I already scanned it with the NFC tag. I only have to scan it one time, but you have the option of using either one at any control. Okay, so on your phone screen, you can zoom in and out and look at the course the same as it appears on your paper map. The red dot doesn't appear to show you where you are. That would be using the technology to do the heavy lifting instead of navigating yourself. But you can see your progress around the course. You notice that all the control points start out purple or kind of pink on this phone screen. And every time you scan one, that control turns green. Now I'm about to do that with this control right here. When I punch that, you see that control number 3 changed from purple to green, indicating a successful punch. And now I'm off to control number 4. Okay, now I just punched my last control. You can see all my circles have changed from purple to green. My punched record at the very top says 7 of 7. I've got all 7 controls on this course. The only thing left for me to do is to get back to the finish. In order to complete the course fully, you must punch the start, punch all the controls in their correct order, and then get back and punch the finish at the end. Okay, I am back to the kiosk where the start and finish codes are. I'm getting my phone ready to scan that QR code. At the finish, once I scan it, my clock will stop and I'll get to see my results. Here comes the kiosk. I've got my phone ready. I'm pressing scan QR, coming up to the finish code, and there we are. Okay, so now you can see on my phone screen, it shows me now my map with my course overlaid on it, so I can see exactly not only where the course was and where the points are, but also my exact route from point to point. And if I look at my results, I tap the All Results button, I should be able to see. It's thinking. Cell signal is very poor out here. There we go. So now I have my result there, 44 minutes and 6 seconds. And if I look at that, I guess it's still uploading, so it may not have my splits yet. But we should be able to see that at a later time once it uploads. Okay, so now I'm coming back to this somewhat later so I can see the results. I've opened my MapRun app and I'll click the Show Results button there at the bottom. These are all the results I've recorded with MapRun. You can see there are quite a few, but if I scroll down here, I can get back to the Moss Park Intermediate course, which is the one I was doing that day while I was recording the instructional video. And here's my track in red overlaid on the map I used. So now if I click the All Results button up here at the top, it'll show me all of the results turned in on this course with the MapRun app. And you can see I'm there listed at number 3. That was the day I was out there doing the recordings. And I can scroll back and forth here and see a little bit of information. I've got my total distance traveled as I did the course, my pace in minutes per kilometer, the controls I punched in the order I punched them, and so forth. There's also the Show Details button up here at the top that adds a couple more things. Most notably the run date. That's the actual date that each person was there and did the course. Now, if I scroll back to the left, you'll notice there's a Show Tracks button at the top left. If I click on that, now I have my pick of all the tracks for people who recorded results on this course. So I can pick myself, and then let's say I'm position 3, this is position 4, this Nick H track here that came in at 45:25 total time, and I can pick the colors that I want. I can click colors a few times until I get 2 colors I like. Now it's going to show my track in blue and his in this bright green, so I can slide this back out of the way and zoom in, and now I see both of our tracks, mine and his, overlaid on the map so that I can take a look and see how he and I might have approached the course a little bit differently in places. And I can even animate this. If I go to the replay button up here at the top, I can actually have it play back the entire run for each of us, and it's synchronized so that it was as if it was a virtual mass start, even though we were actually there on different days. It sort of plays it back as if it had done a synchronized start. And you can see how we're both going through the course, and now we're coming back to the finish, and there we are. So you can use this tool on your phone to study not only what you did, but what other people did, and make comparisons and learn from that. It's a great way to train.